Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into a new edition of the Batter Up Podcast, sponsored by the Dugout of Millwood, here on the Sports Insanity Network. Danny Boy Reginald, the old ops guy, Mike Rifkin with you. Gentlemen, it's August 10th. How we doing?
Bright sunshiny day. Little bit of heat coming back to the city here. Not looking forward to it. However, 19 years with the wife survived as of
Yes.
last night.
Yes.
So we made it 19 years.
One
and she
more.
hasn't killed me.
But how many times has she thought about
Yeah, the list is ongoing.
it? All right, congratulations. Dan, my friend, how are you?
I mean, I would be okay if the Yankees had taken advantage of the fact the Blue Jays have lost two in a row, but I'm fine. I'm doing okay.
That's an excellent segue talking about the Yankees because that's where we're going to open up. But we're not just going to talk about the Yankees. We're going to talk about both New York baseball teams because right now both are playing very poorly.
Yeah, like
the Yankees have been overtaken by the Mariners for that second wild card and only are ahead of the Cleveland Guardians by a half game.
yeah.
And things are so bad for the Yankees that even at Old Timers Day, bad things are happening as Mariano Rivera tore his Achilles
How
in center field.
what was described as a freak accident, and Andy Pettit said it on the radio broadcast. It was just a freak accident. He just went to try to catch a ball and he heard it pop or felt it pop. What? Like, dude, what do you mean? You just felt it pop in a routine move? Come on. The curse of the Yankees, and I'm calling it a curse, is now going on the greatest to ever do it in a Yankee uniform.
Poor Mariano. When I saw the report come up, I'm like, what? And then I went and read, and I'm like, what the hell was he doing in the outfield? That was the thing that I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me.
He loves the outfield for whatever reason. Shagging fly balls before games when he was a player. Like it's yeah, it's in his DNA. I think it got the best of him. But damn.
As Mike pointed out earlier, this is why Derek Jeter passed up on showing.
But to be fair to Derek Jeter, the real reason was his daughter had a birthday party. That was his real reason
Sure.
for not showing up.
Yeah,
But
his daughter definitely had a birthday party in somewhere in Florida, wherever it was. And he had to be there for that. Okay, sure. Why not? We'll go with that.
not to just put the focus on Derek Jeter for a minute, but let's not forget last week during the Speedway Classic in Bristol Motor during the rain delay. Well done, MLB. Derek Jeter was asked by Kevin Burkhardt about the state of the Yankees, and Derek Jeter really did not hold back on the sense of
You mean he told
how
the truth?
poorly the team had been playing.
He told the truth.
Yeah.
When you're part of an organization such as the Yankees that are literally at the top pinnacle of baseball, whether they're in the playoffs or not, they're always in the news.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really bite back or gripe while you're there on contract with fears of certain things. He doesn't have anything to fear anymore, except now he's an analyst and he's being brutally honest now.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. That's what I'm
No.
saying. And it doesn't make him as a trader as a Yankee, but now as an analyst, just like we've seen many a player
Mhm.
rip on his own team after going to become an announcer in multiple sports.
Keith Hernandez.
Yes, exactly. It's another very
Clyde
good point.
Frazier. Clyde Frazier loves ripping the Knicks. Any
Yep.
chance he gets. So I'm obviously, as you can tell, I'm not mad at Derek Jeter.
No.
I'm mad at the Yankees because the Yankees are playing like ass. Now they won yesterday. Great, awesome. We appreciate that. But they they were rolling just like the Mets were. We'll get to the Mets in a second. They were rolling. They had a 8-game lead in the division, and no one was catching them. And now they could barely hold on to a wild card spot. And look who's coming. The Cleveland Guardians of all teams, right?
They
5-game winning streak. And now they're
That
on
lineup
the
is on
tail of a
fire
wild
right
card
now.
spot. Crazy.
Yeah.
And it's their fault because we have a terrible manager who can't get out of his own way, who's so stubborn, he doesn't want to change anything, who always wants to be right, and instead of going with the feel of the game.
Okay, I am happy you brought up the manager because I want to bring something up to you specifically, and it goes to Friday night. The Yankees on Wednesday got 5 outs from David Bednar to shut the door
Mm-hmm.
against Texas.
He was phenomenal.
Thursday's an off day.
Yeah.
Friday night, they're playing the Astros, 10th inning, and Aaron Boone goes back to Devin Williams.
Why?
That was going to be my question to you.
Why? And then of course he comes in, and guess what happens? He gives him 3 runs. You know, what's so frustrating about look, it's not even Devin Williams' fault anymore. Devin Williams, we know what he is, right? And look, I'll be the first to admit that maybe I got a little too excited that we actually had a closer, and of course now we know what he really is. He's not a closer, right? So, look, at some point you gotta look in the mirror and be like, Devin Williams knows who he is, and the manager knows what he is. Like, is that not missing? I just don't understand what the Yankees are looking at. When you make these boneheaded mistakes again and again and again and again, like there's a pattern. And every time it doesn't work, there's a pattern. Something has to be addressed here because it happens literally every single night. And it's costing the Yankees. These were all the losses that been happening in this stretch. A lot of them, probably the vast majority of them, were preventable by the manager. Preventable. Not saying that they're going to win the game. Look, baseball is baseball. Baseball is a weird sport. Anything can happen. That game against the Marlins where the Marlins scored 13 runs or whatever it was, that happens. That's baseball. What isn't baseball is continuing to go to the same guy that continues to struggle. I don't know if it's mental. I don't know if it's the league just figured him out. Whatever it is, he continues to struggle on the mound and you still go to him. Why? What are we doing?
And it's not the fact that you keep going to him, it's the fact that you're going to him in high leverage spots.
Well,
No,
no one
knowing
to him in general, Mike.
you
Like,
know, but you got to find a way for him to regain confidence. So if you put him in a game, you're up. Argument's sake, it's 8-1, eighth inning. Boom, get me 3 outs. Find a way to get him his confidence back. I agree with what you're saying because there's a reason why Brian Cashman went out and got David Bednar and Camilo Duvall.
mm,
That reason being Devin Williams has really struggled. These guys deserve a chance in the ninth, give them the ninth inning potentially. But I don't know what the manager is doing. And to point out, you're talking about mistakes also. Last year, there was one point he held Gleyber Torres responsible, and he held him accountable, and he didn't play Gleyber the next day.
yeah.
Mark and I talked about this last week. The Jazz Chisholm play where he gets doubled off of first base.
And don't
That
understand,
play can't happen.
don't understand it.
And Jazz doesn't get held accountable.
Or the Austin Wells, I'm gonna go back to the dugout thinking it's
Not
3
knowing the
outs.
amount of outs.
Like,
Yeah.
and there's nothing about that too. And the Yankees won that game, thankfully, but still, like everything about the Yankees in this stretch, the July stretch into early August, it's mistake after mistake after mistake that you can't make in a professional baseball world.
Mental mistakes will happen here and there. And I use that term loosely, but they cannot happen as often as they were,
Yeah,
or actually are in this case.
yeah.
Man, it used to be they would think they could outslug their mistakes. That's just not an answer.
Well, you took a massive hit with Judge being out, and of course, I don't know how much of an impact Judge is having now because he was on the IL for so long. And I know it was only what 10 days, or
10
whatever it
days.
was,
But
but
look what happened in 10 days.
like he's not impacting, you know?
I mean, I was watching some of the replays of Stanton running. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It's a casual jog. He can't
yeah,
run.
yeah. Like I mean, and part of it could just be that Stanton's getting older. Part of it probably is just in his DNA. He's just not a fast runner, whatever it is, you know. I don't know. Like there's a lot of issues
He can
within
still
this.
hit the ball on a line.
Yes.
I'll say that.
Yeah, and
I mean, the line
he's been
drive he
tearing it.
hit over center field, I don't remember who they were playing, but that was a shot.
Yeah, and he's been tearing it. Look, uh, obviously you have some good apples too, but the good apples are not enough to cover the massive issues that are coming with this franchise. You're talking about a franchise that's 19 and what, 30, 31, something like that,
Yep.
since July. So, or sorry, since they were in first place in the American League, I think it was like June or whatever the case may be. Like, and they're the worst in the league. And of
Well,
course, again, the Mets are literally right there. But
I was about to say you don't claim soul place. I
you
mean,
know,
we could be right
but
there with you.
but the Yankees definitely have looked like the worst team, and the playoff chances are dwindling. And if that's not a sense of there needs to be a sense of urgency. If there's no sense of urgency, and the manager continues to make these boneheaded decisions, again, preventable losses that happen, then we're going to see the Yankees miss the playoffs. And what's going to be the excuse? Like, how can you continue to have Aaron Boone on this leash? How can you continue to have Brian Cashman on this leash?
Well, the Yankees do catch a break this week. They get the Twins coming in, and they own the Twins.
Great. Let's see how it actually works out. They just gave up Correa. Oh, by the way, Correa's killing us. He's been killing us all weekend. But
Yeah.
no, you hope these are get right games against Minnesota,
Mhm.
but I don't know. I just don't know anymore.
I just say they're get right because they've owned the Twins for it feels like forever.
Yeah.
Regular season and playoffs. All right, Mark. The other side of town isn't doing much better.
No, this is where Dan gets to take a big sigh of relief and say, "Oh yeah, let's see how good that side's doing." Really?
Yeah.
My God. What has us at one point still has us at the same point we were at the trade deadline. Sorry to say.
Yeah.
Without constant starter.
1-9 in their last 10.
Yeah.
On the verge of getting swept again
Mhm.
by the Milwaukee Brewers. Who, by the way, shout
Mhm.
out the Brewers. They've been
Yeah.
playing extremely well.
Tremendous
They have the
baseball.
best
Yeah.
record of baseball
Tremendous.
since May 7th or something. They've been on a roll.
And
Yeah.
remember who put that team together.
Tremendous.
No, I know who put that team together, and that team is really fundamentally good.
On all edges, yes. Especially with the resurgence of Woodruff.
Yeah. To the other team that they are
Yeah.
playing, they are not playing fundamentally well right now. And every little mistake costs the New York Mets, right? And nothing could be further than Friday night. Jeff McNeil gets the base hit off of, I want to call him Tyler, but it's Trevor McGill.
I was
Starling
about to say, don't call him Tyler. Because I made that
I
mistake the
didn't
other
call
day.
time. And Starling Marte is sent home, and Blake Perkins with a
Perfect throw.
nails him at the plate.
Yeah.
That sums up perfectly the New York Mets over the last month and a half.
Yeah.
The Mets have not been able to catch a break. And mind you, it hasn't been a complete collapse of the lineup. There are bright spots that are still going on. Alonso is still hitting. I mean, they did hit 3 home runs yesterday, but it still didn't amount to a win. That's the problem. The problem was all 3 home runs by Alonso, Soto, and
Marte.
Marte. Thank you. Were all solo home runs.
Exactly.
Home runs are great. Home runs are great. I love a good home run. But if you're hitting solo home runs and you have nobody on base all the time, you're not amounting to anything. If you want to take anything, take it from Mr. 3000 T-Rex Pennebaker. Hit a lot of solo home runs, but nobody on base.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out Alonso tying Darryl Strawberry for most home
Yeah.
runs in franchise history.
Yeah. Alonso, look, he's been hitting fairly well this season, but of late has been a disaster to watch at the plate. So has Lindor, so has Nimmo. I mean, up and down the lineup that the
Mhm.
Mets are not hitting. Yes, Juan Soto's hitting. Yes, on the face of everything. When it's all said and done, Juan Soto is going to look like he had a great season. But there's a difference between hitting what 270, whatever it is right now, um, and having a trillion home runs and all that stuff. But if you're not actually producing with runners in scoring position like he has not been, that's a problem because Juan Soto with runners in scoring position, if he can come through, the Mets win a ton of games. They're probably the best team in baseball and not the Milwaukee Brewers. But that has not been the case this season. So, yes, Juan Soto on the face of it is having a good year, but he has not been doing his job in carrying this team. Pete Alonso has been doing more of the carrying, and he's been struggling a little bit. Lindor is an afterthought all of a sudden. Why is he an afterthought? He's getting paid $1 trillion to play shortstop and to hit baseballs, hit for power, hit for, whatever it is.
The power has seemingly left Lindor over the not just the power, his overall offensive categories
Yeah.
have drastically plummeted from everything from average to OBP. It has not been a good run for Lindor, but it's not just Lindor, as Dan also and Mike have also pointed out. It's Nimmo. Alvarez hasn't been hitting. I love the defensive replacement in center field, but Mullins, who'll have a nice little small article out, just needs to settle down and just bat ninth and act like it, Mike.
To Dan's point about runners in scoring position, and Juan Soto is very guilty of not hitting with runners in scoring position. This whole team hasn't hit with runners in scoring position, and it's been an ongoing theme all year. They don't hit with runners in scoring position. They don't find a way for big hits. The top of this lineup is struggling immensely. Nimmo, I don't know if he needs a day off. I don't know if something's bothering him, but he hasn't looked right. Lindor, love the fact he plays every day. He has struggled mightily, and now it's taken into his defense. Soto, I'm going to give Juan Soto this. Juan Soto plays a better right field than I thought he did. And Pete has had a fine year, and hopefully they could come to terms on a contract with him. But the problem is when you're a 4-hitter lineup, because 5 through 9, who the hell knows? Vientos has not had a good year. Alvarez, we already know you got set down to AAA. Since he's gotten back, he's played fine. Been fine since he came back. Jeff McNeil, they need to have someone get going at the bottom, whether it's Alvarez, Vientos, McNeil. Mauricio's gotten some big hits. I'm not going to get on Ronnie Mauricio. Mark, you brought up Mullins. It's fine. He does what he does. I need somebody in this lineup who's not in the top 4. And I'm looking at 3 guys. I'm looking at Vientos. I'm looking at Alvarez. I'm looking at Jeff McNeil. One of these 3 has to get hot sooner rather than later to lengthen out what should be a very dangerous lineup. And then just to flip it, the rotation. And I listen, I've been I love David Stearns. I've loved most of his process. Not getting another starting pitcher at the trade deadline really makes me curious because the starters just don't go deep into games. The injury history of Frankie Montas and even Shamania to a degree has me worried. Then there's the Clay Holmes factor. Argument's sake, the Mets own the 3rd wild card spot. They're up 2.5 on the Reds. If the playoffs were to start today, Mark, I don't think I'm out on a limb here, but the three starters for the wild card series would be David Peterson,
Yes,
Senga, and Minaya.
I do not disagree.
Okay.
I think I think those in one way or another are your three, correct?
But so here's the other piece to that. There's only been one Met starter this year to throw a pitch in the seventh inning. His name is David Peterson.
Yeah,
correct.
And let's be real about David, and he's done a great job.
Right. I'm not taking a shot at David Peterson. Yeah. I'm not even taking a shot at Senga and Minaya. I know Minaya's coming off of injury. I know Kodai Senga's coming off of injury. But these guys got to figure it out.
Yeah, David Peterson has obviously been the best, but he's not an ace.
No.
That's the problem.
He's an Oregon
not an
Duck.
Ace.
And that's herein lies the issue. Mike brought up this Minaya's back off an injury. His first 3 games, he's pitched into the 5th inning with control on the board, but the problem is the Mets weren't putting runs up. Yeah. So by the bottom of the 6th inning, he's giving up 3-4 runs. You know, if you're not giving the guy something to work with, it's not giving him help. Senga, I love him. I love his pitch. But for the first 2 innings, the guy makes me need a Xanax and a glass of scotch. Yeah, because you can almost guarantee he gives up at least 1 run in the first 2 innings.
Yeah,
Peterson, I'm not taking a shot at. He's been arguably the best Mets pitcher this season next to Holmes.
Yeah. And the other thing is this, going back to think of this series with Milwaukee for a second, Mark. Kodai Senga makes an error. The next batter, it's a 2-run homer tie game. And then it unravels. Last night against the Brewers, Ryan Helsley gets a pitch clock violation, which, by the way, was a late call by the home plate umpire. I'll digress.
Very late.
Still.
Next pitch, it's a 2-run homer. Ball game's essentially over. Every little mistake is now snowballing for this team.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if the day off tomorrow is going to be perfect for them to just take a deep breath and relax. Maybe they find a way to win today in Milwaukee. I don't know. They got Minaya on the mound. But something's got to change. And if this is a 2007, 2008-esque collapse, someone is going to have a head roll. And I highly doubt it's David Stearns.
Yeah. I mean, look, everyone was touting David Stearns for his ability to build a lineup, build a team using the parts of the money ball methods and stuff, right? Like that was his thing in Milwaukee, right? He's like, I can take anything and turn it into an amazing team. Well, it's backfiring on it. Let's be honest about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's backfiring on them. Even the manager, Mendoza has been brutal lately as well. Not as bad as other managers. He still, actually has a feel of the game, which is what I respect about him. But Stearns needs to be held accountable. This guy has gotten a pass just because the Mets made the playoffs last year. He can't get a pass if even if the Mets make the wild card and don't get out of it. There's no pass for David Stearns.
I don't think there's a pass for anybody.
Exactly. I mean, look, when it all comes down, someone's going to be, it has to be put at the front face of the issue. And I agree with Dan, it's the GM. Just like Cashman has been on the hot seat for years. They'll question why they didn't go out and grab it started. The answer, I'm kind of curious what it will be from him. because obviously we can't make up the answer for him.
Yeah.
As for Mike makes a very good point. If the playoffs started today, those are the three pitchers. I truly, truly hope I'm not sitting here in the middle of September worrying about 2 games.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we're well comfortable
Yeah.
that we don't have to sit and worry about a couple of games.
Yeah. And I know it's probably too little too late to do this, but is it possible do we send Clay Holmes back to the bullpen? Because him being a starter, while it was a great experiment, and look, there are some games where he surprised me. He's very much
Right.
surprised me. But now that you're getting into the home stretch of the season, wouldn't it be better to put Clay Holmes where he's naturally comfortable in at relief? And again, it doesn't have to be late innings. It could just be the sixth inning, filling in for Kodai Senga when he can't go far.
Well, sorry, I'll give it to Mike quickly. That's where Sprode and McLean are going to come in. But Mike,
That's why I thought David Stearns needed to add a starter at the deadline, because Clay Holmes in the bullpen, because Clay Holmes could be dominant out of the pen.
Yes.
And if you look at this the bullpen as it is, they had Ryan Helsley, they had Taylor Rogers. Adding Holmes is another late inning guy. And then you throw on top of that, you got Diaz and Stanek and Reed Garrett. It would be a dangerous bullpen if they just threw Clay Holmes back in there. So I wouldn't have a problem throwing Clay Holmes back in there. Problem is, you promised him he's a starter. And although the innings limit, who knows? But yeah, I would have preferred a starter in there.
Yeah.
So
a lot of things that the Mets have to figure out.
Yep.
I mean,
everything. Lineup,
they're-
defense,
yeah,
pitching.
and all of a sudden Cincinnati on the tails too. Look, the Mets still have a comfortable lead in that third wild card spot, but it takes a week.
All it takes is a couple of days.
exactly.
Then talk a little bit about Milwaukee, but let's talk about a couple of teams who are rolling right now. Dan, you mentioned one before when we were talking about the Yankees. Cleveland.
Yes.
They are rolling.
And we thought they were selling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
They're 9-1 in their last 10. They've won 5 in a row.
It just goes to show you how weak this American League is. That, by the way, I have not been wrong about. This American League sucks. It is bad. So bad that the Guardians found their way. The Guardians have not been playing well all season. Come on, let's be real about that.
They still have a minus 17 run differential.
You know, but yet they're a half game out from a wild card spot.
And only 5 back of the Tigers.
Crazy. By the way,
that is the crazy part. That they're only 5 games back of the Tigers.
Yeah. Now the Tigers are going to be fine. I think they're going to make the playoffs. But their lead is dwindling.
Yeah.
That's trouble in Detroit there too.
Yeah. So Mark,
those dog days of summer to play.
Yeah.
Mark, we just saw Cleveland and they beat the snot out of the Mets for 3-2.
I was, as much as I hate to say this, when especially to a team that beat on the Mets, I was very impressed.
Yeah.
I mean, that lineup was just in sync. And mind you, they traded one of probably the most long-lasting players in Shane Bieber. And that's why, like Dan said, we all thought they were selling when they made that move. Again, Cleveland, like Tampa, finds ways to win.
And they beat up the Mets without Jose Ramirez really doing damage in that series.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing. Let's not forget, they don't have Emmanuel Clase right now because of the whole gambling situation to lock down these
Dynasty.
teams.
Yeah, apparently there's more than two. We're gonna get caught.
Yeah,
Well, there's
so
supposedly a few who are about to come down the list, but no definitive names yet.
we'll wait and see on that. But they're
Right.
rolling. The Seattle Mariners,
Mhm.
who last night retired
Yes.
Ichiro's jersey.
Yeah,
And by the way, next year he'll get a statue in front of T-Mobile Park.
yeah.
The Mariners are 8-2 in their last 10. They've won 6 in a row. They're a half game behind the Astros.
Yeah, must be nice having Gino Suarez in your lineup.
I
Must-
think it's kind of fitting because it was a nice homecoming for him.
Yeah,
It also must be nice going to a freaking stud every night in that rotation.
hmm yeah. Mariners
The
have
lineup
been
is
great.
well. Let me tell you, Cal Raleigh, baby.
Yes.
That dumper is pumping and dumping. Sorry, it had to be said.
Yeah, he's
He
been
is
tremendous though.
Killing it.
But
Will
love
he be the home run champion this year?
He's in the lead right now, 43.
Currently, I
um
think I was going to say 2. Okay.
Shohei
No, he hit
just
one the
nailed.
other night, so I think it's 43. I'll double check for you.
Yeah,
Okay.
Shohei just hit 40. So
Okay.
44.
It's good.
We both shortchanged him. He's at 44.
okay.
And Shohei's at 40.
Yeah.
Shohei's at 40 last night. Kyle Schwarber's at 41.
I was about to say Schwartz is up there also. I know he just hit one the other night.
And then
So, I mean-
Suarez and Judge are at 37 apiece.
Could we see Cal Raleigh crown the home run leader this year? I think it would be great for baseball.
I think if he gets to
That's-
50, he should be the slam dunk MVP.
Yeah. It's rare to see a catcher hit 50 home runs. Like,
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
And play every single game.
Yeah. That too.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're playing great, and they added at the deadline. The Red Sox playing great. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They did lose last night to the Padres.
Yeah.
And
Blue
they
Jays
locked
won.
up another member of their young group.
Yeah.
And Anthony.
Roman Anthony got a big 8-year deal.
Good for him.
And that was very, very smart of the
Yeah.
Red Sox to do this now.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's Atlanta like. Atlanta,
very
Yes.
Atlanta-like.
you know,
Yes, exactly.
the type of team that they are that just locks up their young players so that they could avoid all those stupid ass arbitrations and not have them go
Yep.
to free agency. They're gonna have them pretty much for the rest of this decade and into the next. Like, and you better hope he's good. And I think they have a lot of confidence in that.
And this isn't the first one they've done this year. They've done with a couple of their other young players, along with Garrett Crochet. So
Yeah.
they're really setting the foundation for those next great Red Sox teams.
Yeah, and who would have thought it was Devers being the cancer in that locker room?
You know,
Yeah, that's another conversation.
it's just a shock, because of the caliber player he is. He is.
Yeah.
I mean, he hit one the other night that Jesus to almost dead center 440.
Yeah.
That's a shot
In
in San Francisco.
It's an easy ballpark, but 440 is wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
If you picture that park, that center field reminds me of the old Enron Stadium in Houston, how deep that center field is. So, but I mean, that was a shot, but would not have believed that he would have been the culprit.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it's been. And he hasn't really been great since he went over there either.
Hasn't been excellent, but he's making it count when it needs to be, I guess, if you want to put it that way.
Also, the fact that he started playing first base is
Well, that was the biggest FU over to the
no,
Red
that
Sox.
was the biggest.
If you would have asked me nicely, I would have said sure.
Yeah, so those teams are playing well. Just to flip to the National League, we brought up the Brewers before. They're 9-1 the last 10, 8 in a row. The Phillies are playing well, 7-3 in their last 10. The Padres are 7-3 in their last 10. Padres Dodgers next weekend. Look out. Dodgers only up
Wow.
3 on the Padres.
That's your TV watch weekend series.
And it's that close because of the Dodgers struggles in July,
Yeah.
which
They have Blake Snell back, and he was dominant last night against Toronto. Speaking of Toronto, did you guys see what the Blue Jays did this week to the Colorado Rockies?
this is something I wanted the Yankees to do to the Rockies. They
Oh
did.
my, the word shellacking comes to mind
It
if we're
was
gonna go
The
back to olden days,
Toronto
like the old
Blue
Dobbs guy.
Jays, in a 3-game set at Coors Field, beat the Colorado Rockies 15-1,
Jesus.
10-4, and 20-1.
Like,
They outscored the Rockies 45-6 in a 3-game set.
yeah.
I mean, that's like the USA Olympic team going up against Sri Lanka.
Like, yeah, total amateurs.
So,
Unbelievable.
You know, and the Blue Jays, one of the things I like about the Blue Jays, they're taking advantage
mhm.
of their competition.
Exactly.
You know, they're a smart team. They know who's good, they know who's bad, they know who's mediocre, right? And find ways to win. It's a brilliant job by them. Their hitting is great, their pitching is great, all around. Like, even the pitching coaches are doing a good job because they keep shutting teams down like it's no one's business.
I think Dan pointed it perfectly by saying they're taking advantage when they have the chance and shows teams they're serious. Not that Colorado did much to say anything. But
Yeah.
one thing about Colorado, did anybody realize that since Chris Bryant has been there, he's hit less than like 8 home runs at Coors Field
He's a non-factor. He doesn't exist.
for $180 million? I mean, I'm sorry, it's Coors Field.
He doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I feel like Chris Bryant's played in the same amount of games we have at Coors Field. We haven't played a game at Coors Field. So that contract, that and Rendon are the 2 worst contracts in all of baseball right
Yeah.
now. And I'm not sure if there's a third one.
Yeah. I wonder they both had a pattern too. World Series champion, and they don't care.
Well, I don't think Chris Bryant doesn't care. I think this has more been injury riddled for him than
But-
lack of care.
Right, but you get my point though, right?
No,
They're
no, I
satisfied.
the other question I have is why would you go to Colorado, Chris? That's the other question I have.
I mean, he had it good in Chicago. That was my thing.
That's where he should have went back to. And then he could have ended up as the DH. Not that anything would have changed. But maybe it would have.
The biggest what ifs, Chris Bryant, if he could stay healthy. All right, on to some other news. Shout out Jen Powell,
Mhm.
first female to umpire a regular season game. She did it yesterday during the Marlins and Braves doubleheader. Today, she will be behind the plate for the series finale between the Marlins and Braves.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, this is very historic. You know, we've seen women referees in basketball and football, and now we get to see a woman umpire a baseball game. It's great. It is tremendous. You know, all the ladies out there deserve all the flowers today. You know, this one specifically worked her way up, worked her ass off to get this opportunity.
Absolutely.
And now to hear that she's going to get a chance to call balls and strikes, like that's a dream for anybody.
The biggest over under in Vegas. Will she throw somebody out today?
Ooh. First chance
Mind
she
you,
gets
with
that. First
different
chance she
reason
gets is
for,
gonna
like Dan
argue
said,
people.
calling balls and strikes today. She's
Oh,
gonna,
oh,
so I'm just saying that's why the over under is so huge.
God.
I'm gonna say no.
I have it as yes, unfortunately, because it will make herself a name.
Yeah.
It'll just give it bit to show she can't be screwed with. And what better way to
Yeah.
do it than on the national stage, if warranted only. I'm not talking an Angel Hernandez throw out here.
Uh,
Yeah, you got a lot of you still have a lot of men out there that don't respect women. So
And I think it's got to be made clear.
yeah. I don't know. I would say no. I'm with Mike on this one, but still. It'll be fun. It'll be a
if she
hilarious.
does throw someone out,
Yeah.
it's gonna be.
I'll tell you this: she throws somebody out today. Tops will make a baseball card and drop it tonight.
Oh,
Oh my.
that would be interesting. All right, so we got that. That'll happen this afternoon in Atlanta. Let's see what else we got on the docket. Talked about Mariano. Oh, Friday night. Speaking of the Blue Jays, we just talked about, we saw a great pitching matchup. Future Hall of Famers Max Scherzer and Clayton Kershaw. So I'm curious for you guys, what's a dream pitching matchup you would have liked to been in attendance for?
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a good one. And I mean, I've seen a lot of great pitchers.
You can put any two pitchers together. I don't care.
Oh, you mean like take two pitchers from history?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would love to see Walter Johnson versus Satchel Paige.
I thought you saw Walter Johnson.
Ouch. Give me the pouch.
I mean, I don't know. That's a good one.
In a realistic one today, I would love to see Randy Johnson versus Paul Skeens.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I was gonna.
So just a copycat for a second. The first time Scherzer and Kershaw matched up, the original starting pitchers were Randy Johnson and Greg Maddux.
Wow.
Interesting.
Very.
I would love to have seen like a Tom Glavine versus Steven Strasburg. Young, out of the box Strasburg, not like tail end Strasburg. I don't know why Tom Glavine comes to mind, but and by the way, I'm talking about Atlanta Braves.
We don't recall the other team.
What, the Milwaukee Braves? Yeah, I was there. Me and Hank Aaron hung out.
Oh man. But like a Bob Gibson versus Roger Clemens.
Yeah.
There's so many you could put together.
Even like a CC versus a Greg Maddux. You know, that would have been Greg Maddux in his heyday would have been awesome against CC. In his heyday.
I'll say this. I saw CC pitch a number of times for the Yankees. And the one matchup I always got was him versus John Lester. And it was just, and I got to tell you, I love John Lester. But man, it was something watching CC Sabathia pitch live.
Yeah.
You know what I would like to see? Doc Gooden first
Okay.
season, Kerry Wood first season.
Oh, Kerry Wood.
Ooh. I think Doc gets the edge.
Kerry Wood.
A little bit. I mean, Kerry Wood was.
He were phenomenal.
I mean, research his
Untouchable.
career as a closer, but what a starter!
But for the amount of strikeouts that when both had a ton of strikeouts early in their careers, I think Doc Gooden was the better pitcher, better strikeout pitcher.
Yeah. I mean, Mark, I wasn't alive in '86. I'm not taking a shot. Was Doc versus Clemens game one of '86 or no?
No,
Oh,
no, it was not Doc Clemens. That much I would remember.
okay. I was just curious. I mean, another guy I would love to see is Kurt Schilling. You want to talk about a big game pitcher?
Yeah.
That was Kurt Schilling.
Kurt
And despite everything else that's out there against him,
yeah.
and he should be in the Hall of Fame,
Mm-hmm.
Kurt Schilling was one of the best big game pitchers.
Yeah.
Give me Schilling and Kershaw.
Yes.
There's a nice matchup.
Oh,
Even like a Pedro situation too. If you put Pedro, it would be a good matchup with him.
Pedro Maddox, we saw a couple of times in
Yeah.
life, and that was fun.
actually,
I would love to see Pedro versus Clemens again. That was fun.
Johan Santana and Tom Glavine, two lefties
Yeah.
who didn't throw. Neither one threw relatively hard.
Mm-hmm.
Two devastating changeups. Oh,
See, here's the thing. I love all these pitching matchups. However, there's two records in all these pitchers that'll never be broken. Cy Young's wins and Nolan Ryan's strikeouts.
Yeah.
To end up with 5,000 strikeouts today is not possible.
Well, no, because
Players don't go as deep.
Yeah, and the game is about. It's no longer about how far you can go. You can push your body. It's all about sustainability and all that stuff. That's the biggest shame.
and the other thing is, to your point about wins, guys don't go deep. We're probably, unless Verlander somehow gets there, which I don't know, he's got one win on the year.
Right.
We're never going to see a 300 game winner again.
Yeah.
As of right now, no.
No.
I mean, even Patchy winning Bulls, he's not going to get to 300. At least he's half the lane.
I was about to say he at least gets a 150 as a start off.
God.
Listening, going, damn you.
You just mentioned Verlander. I love the Verlander Musinas. Man.
That's an interesting one. Mussina versus Verlander. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, that's
Verlander and Pedro.
Yeah, those are like mid 2000s matchups. Too.
Prime Pedro. Ooh.
Yeah. God.
Man. All right. I thought that'd be a fun little conversation.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Then we got some series to go over this week. Brought up for Dan. The Twins go to the Bronx, play the Yankees.
Kick their ass. Let's go.
The Yankees have owned the Twins forever.
Stop playing around. You know, win the series against Houston. That would tell me something. If you win the series against Houston today.
You got a rematch of the 1997 World Series. It's the Miami Marlins of Florida play the Guardians.
That's going to be a the way the Miami Marlins have been playing,
Mhm.
you know, a little bit of that up and down, but they still got a lot of excitement in them. I think they might actually give the Guardians a run for their money.
Yeah, they don't care. They're playing
Exactly.
fine,
They're playing great.
you know.
They are the Cleveland Indians from Major League. They don't care.
They
Yeah.
don't care, except I hope they're not pulling pieces of Derek Jeter's clothes off.
Yeah, that's something I didn't need to know about. But yeah. Mark, some that the Mets need to keep their eye on, the Phillies and the Reds.
This is a bigger series, not just for standings. If the Reds want to be taken seriously, and as much as it benefits either way, whether the Reds lose or the Phillies lose, the Mets are going to benefit. The Reds need to take this series this weekend.
Then going forward, we got the D backs and the Rangers in a World Series rematch from a couple of years ago. The Dodgers and the Angels in the Freeway Series. So when Shohei hits about 6 homers against the Angels, Angels fans can go cry.
Mhm.
Uh,
Come on, you
Reds,
know Trout's going to hit one, and the stadium's going to go nuts.
he's getting close to 400. And that is
My
gonna,
question is he going to make it to 500?
No, not in his career. Unless he stops getting hurt and goes to a contender.
unless
Or
he becomes a
he's
full
got to
time
leave.
DH.
Like
That
if
too.
he stops playing the outfield.
Yeah. And I
Well,
don't know if he gets there with the Angels. I just,
right. But 400, it's an accomplishment in and of itself anyway.
it's another notch in the belt of a future Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
We get the Red Sox going to Houston to play the Astros. That's got huge playoff implications. Padres,
Yeah.
Giants, too.
I mean, a lot of division matchups coming up.
Well, you're going to get a lot of that coming down the stretch. And then as we go forward to the weekend, Reds, Brewers, as we mentioned, more division. The Mets will play the Mariners, including next Sunday night in Williamsport for the Little League game.
I was about to say that's the Little League game, right?
Yeah. Rangers, Blue Jays. They'll honor the Jose Bautista Rougned Odor fight.
I don't know who was better, Bautista Odor or Ramirez Anderson.
The better fight was Bautista Odor because Jose Ramirez had that one punch knockout of Tim Anderson.
Yeah,
And Tim Anderson's been done ever since.
I was about to say since
That's the
that,
thing that killed Tim
Anderson
Anderson's
has not been
career.
the same.
Oh, rematch of the '95 World Series: the Braves and the Guardians.
Another a chance for Cleveland to make a run, especially with the Braves hurting.
Yankees will play the Cardinals. A matchup of the teams with the two most World Series titles. And then, as I mentioned before, the San Diego Padres will go to LA to play the Dodgers. It will be a
That's
massive 3-game set in LA.
oh, and a lot can be decided that weekend.
Yeah, right now the Dodgers are up 3 on the Padres,
Right.
so I have to wait and see. All right. That'll do it for this edition of the Batter Up podcast, sponsored by the Dugout of Millwood. Mark, anything on the dugout?
Yes, if you go over to our cosigner, Top Notch Sports Breaks, you can find a 10 of 10 Cena. Gem Mint 10, autographed, only 175. It's got under 2 days to go. Get on there, go look. It's on the bay, as we like to call it. They don't deserve to be known as eBay anymore, apparently. They're just the bay,
eBay
Shout out
changed its
John
name?
Denver, City by the Day, City by the Bay. No, we got a lot going on as we've told you, and we'll have a couple of videos coming out with pulls and stuff that we've had. The final two cards produced by Hulk Hogan are going out for grading. What we will be doing with them, we don't know. We will be fielding offers. We will not be co-signing them right away. So if you are interested, you listen to the face turn and you're interested, reach out to us here on the network. More glad to sit down and talk with you.
Yes. All right. You can follow us on the socials: Facebook Sports Insanity Network, Twitter Insanity Real. Go to the website thesportsinsanitynetwork.com for great blogs, vlogs, planes, trains, and automobiles. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. SIP with Dan and Bill. Later on this week, we got some other stuff going on.
Yeah.
But for Danny Boy, for the old ops guy, I'm Mike Rifkin. We'll talk to you all again next week here. Batter Up Podcast, sponsored by the Dugout of Millwood here on the Sports Insanity Network.